Hey, what's up guys, Jannie here. Hope you're doing well. In the background is going to be a Metro game that I played the other day. Joined in, got killed quite quickly 2 or 3 times, but then it went quite well until the end of the Metro round. So this will just be playing in the background. I want to discuss all the things on the videos that I'm working on. It's all about the settings, PlayStation 3 settings, network connectivity, communications, everything like that. So let's get into that. So just going through a couple of these, and I'm just going to mention one or two things on this, and then I will go into more detail on each video that will contain a couple of these settings or things that I want to talk about. PS3 settings. What I changed for better performance on my PlayStation 3 itself. To me, it made a change, and the game performed better. You know, things that I changed basically. So make sure there's enough space left on your PlayStation 3 hard drive. Games might get laggy and slow, and overheat. Overheating might also occur due to this. Then connectivity. I'm going to chat about your internet, the cables, your router settings. Router for the American people, but router settings. Things like DNS settings might make a change to your overall gaming experience online. You know, get a RJ45 cable or network cable, same thing, and plug it into your router and into your PlayStation 3. Cable is much faster than Wi-Fi, so if of course if you've got a router in the house, it all depends on how you connect to your PlayStation 3. But definitely, if it's standing next to you, get a RJ45 network cable, plug it into your PlayStation 3, into the router, and I will go through those settings on that as well. Battlefield 4 settings, sensitivity, you know, your normal sensitivity, your ADS sensitivity. Always start low, work up small, small steps at a time. If it's 30, don't move it up to 35 or 40 or 45 at once. It's all about muscle memory. Of course, if you're going to do that, you know, everything is just going to feel weird and off, and you won't be able to track your targets, and the muscle memory, it's just not going to work for you. So make sure when you look at the sensitivity that you start off slow. If a guy's more or less around 10 meters away from you and you aim down sight, if it's your ADS sensitivity is too slow, you won't be able to keep up with the target as he's running past you. If it's too high, you're going to have difficulty tracking that target or staying on target as the guy runs past you. I might say 10 meters now, but it might be a little bit closer. But it's going to be all, you know, the way it works for you, because you don't have too low a sensitivity, ADS sensitivity, and you can't keep up with your target if it runs past you, whether it be 10, 15, 20 meters. So that's really important to make sure that the sensitivity start off low and then working your way up. We're going to have a look at weapons, loadouts, vehicles, things I use that suits me, my playing style. And this is, you know, everyone's got a different playing style. And what I normally try to do is I try to keep things simple, especially on weapons where there's not a lot of recoil. I try to use that. If you're new to the game, start off with your first weapon in every class. You can use that because normally those weapons are the weapons that's really easy to manage the recoil, and it's really proper weapons that can, you know, take you a long way. Even now and then, I still even play with the first weapon in each class. I even still use that. Then what's important is obviously the test range. What you need to do when you get to the test range. It's just not there shooting at targets. There's some things that you will have to think about when you go to the test range. Do I want to snipe today? Do I want to be assault player? A bit further distance? Do I want to scope on a rifle or not? Or assault rifle, a DMR? Or you want close quarters, so you want something maybe like, MPX or MP7, something like that you want to do more close quarters. That's what you need to do. But I'll go through all those settings for you guys. Then TDM, there's just another little tip. Whenever you are done at the test range, go and play a round or two of TDMs. just to make sure everything feels good. You've just been to the test range. Your aim should feel better, but that's all static targets. Now go to it onto a TDM, see what it feels like, get the muscles flowing, get the hands flowing, the controller, your movement, everything, before you just jump into a conquest match, because it's not going to work. You don't want to get into a conquest match and you haven't tried anything yet, because you're going to struggle for that first few minutes. And the thing is, you don't shoot at people the whole time in a conquest match. So when you get into a gunfight, you need to be ready for that guy. That's why I say go to the test range and then get into a TDM 1 or 2 rounds to get you ready for that first gunfight. We're going to talk about things like team play tips. Things like minimap. Use it. See what's happening. Know where your teammates are the whole time. See if they're in a gunfight. Try and predict enemies' next move and where they're going to be next. Always mark spot enemies. It's just easier to help your teammates if you spot a guy. It's easier to see the guy if you do that. Always spot them. Play as a team together the best you can. If you're new to the game, run behind the guys, let them lead. Make sure you've got cover the whole time, and just give the support you need, whether you support, recon, whatever. Don't be that guy lying 5 miles back on a freaking hill trying to snipe everyone. You don't mean nothing to your team. If you want to do that, make a private squad and go lie there on your own at the back. And if you want to play Battlefield that way, then you can play it that way. But don't be in a squad. You're wasting everyone's time, basically, to put it nicely, because that's the way I see it and that's the way I feel. You want to play that way, make a private squad, go and do it on your own, because it's not going to help your team whatsoever. You're lying there and typing to get a 1,500 meter sniper shot. Doesn't help, buddy. Sorry. Then we're going to look at things like in-game comms. Chatting to the guys. How you do it. Some of the guys are afraid to speak to other people. What microphone maybe to use? I mean, if you look at the price that I spend on my microphones, it's really so cheap. A USB microphone. And I'll just... Really, you don't need a high-end thing whatsoever. It's a cheap USB microphone that I've got, plugged it in, and it works perfectly for me in chat. I use it on the PlayStation 3 and 4, and everyone normally says it sounds great. So, the thing is, if you want to speak to guys, all you need to do is basically, if you're scared to speak to people, all you need to do is tell them what you see. That's all. If your teammate runs into a building and there's an enemy player that you see is running in behind him a couple of meters, tell him there's a guy pushing up into the same building as you. Now that guy knows he must turn around and wait for that enemy player. So you did your job there. That's why if some of the guys see me playing together with, like me and Beast and all those guys, that's what we do. We just tell each other what we see the whole time. If you shoot a guy, you tell him, I've hit him once, twice, or like a tank, for example, then they all know he's only 1 or 2 shots away from getting killed. So just tell people what you see. You don't have to be scared or anything to speak to anyone. It just makes it so much more fun and easier for the whole team if guys do communicate. And when you start doing that, it just opens up the whole idea of playing Battlefield. It makes so much better playing Battlefield. I would never have made a channel if I couldn't speak to people, to put it that way. It was just another great example for me, another great thing to do when I started chatting with the people during the match. And it's great fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of effort, and you play. Let me tell you this, when you play as a team together normally, you can play like that, you will end up on top of the scoreboard a lot of times. And what I also tell a lot of people, it's not always about the kills. It's about the support, the objectives that you play. If you do it that way and you die 20 times and you've got 3 kills, but you end up second on the scoreboard, GG's, buddy. You had a brilliant match. It's not always about the kills that you get. It's about the way you play the game. That's what Battlefield is about. Then I'm just going to talk about general gameplay tips, what you need to do, when to push people, when not, when you're the last player on a team, for example, on your squad, the rest died, get away from the enemy players, wait for your teammates to join again on you, so that you have got another chance of taking that objective or killing those enemy players on this objective. Because if everyone gets killed, now you need to spawn back on a different objective, and it took you how long, hard work to get onto that objective. So when you're getting in a gunfight and you can see all your three other teammates is dead, get away from the enemy players, wait for them, hide a little bit if you need to, wait for them to spawn on you, and then you guys carry on and go win the fight. Then just last thing, I just wanted to say there, you don't normally have to be the best player. Just try and play clever. And a lot of times you're going to win gunfights because you're a bit more clever than the other guy rushing and pushing up to you. You are just more clever. And you'll get the kills that way. And then lastly, I will just go through like my setup. How I do things, how do I record, stream, etc. Communicate, things like that. So just to show you, you don't need a lot of money actually to do what I'm trying to do, or in my in the small ways that I do streams. It's just to show you what my setup looks like. I did it a while ago, a year or two ago, but I will share that part with you guys as well. So this is all that's going to come in the next couple of videos. I'm going to do one or two of these together. It just takes me a while to edit these things, so just bear with me. But I am working on it, and I hope you guys enjoy this. There's a lot of things that I will discuss, like the networking things that a lot of guys don't know about, that might make a difference on the way you play, and it might help with your connectivity, for example. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Please stay tuned for the first settings video. Hopefully it will be soon. If I can just sort out my own personal things a little bit, I will have time to sit down and do this properly for you guys. So until next time then, guys, please take care, be safe, and let's be kind to one another. I'll see you guys again. Cheers.